Hello, you wonderful people. Welcome back to the channel and to another video in our Meta Ads Training series, where the full playlist to this series is linked below. So it's just me today, and that's because we are talking about ads. We're going to be talking about how you can create Instagram and Facebook ads that make your audience stop in their scroll and want to engage, click, learn more, and buy from you. Specifically, I'll be sharing 4 key creative levers you'll want to know about for better ad performance. Let's dive in. Now, this video is going to be your deep dive into ad creative and the best practices you can apply to create high-performing ads on Instagram and Facebook. And we are so excited to partner with Meta on this video to deliver you up-to-date insights to help you maximize your results, including a study that pulled from 3 years of ad data and over 13 billion impressions, but more on that after. First, let's talk about what ad creative actually means. So ad creative is the actual content of your ad. It's the visual, so the video, the images, the graphics, and the music. It's your copy, so that's the text included in your ad. It's overall your messaging, right? And then calls to action, so what you want people to do. Ad creative is so important in driving ad performance. It's arguably the most important part of your ad because it's what your audience actually sees. So even if you have a well-optimized ad from a technical standpoint, if you don't have creative that they see in their feed and want to stop and engage with, it's very unlikely you'll get the results you want because your ad won't even have a chance to do what you want the ad to do. Poor creative means your audience scrolls by. Great creative means your audience clicks, engages, and converts. Now let's talk about what makes great creative that encourages people to engage. So Meta partnered with Kantar and CreativeX to study 3 years of ad data. That's 56,984 creatives, 1,295 campaigns, and 13.1 billion impressions. And in that study, they found 4 creative levers that drive performance across all formats. First, human connection. Second, integrate brand and product. 3, visual dynamicism, and 4, distinctive atmosphere. So let's break down what each of these mean. The first creative lever is human connection. So we've talked about how important authenticity is in your content, and that is true for organic content and for paid ads. It's why we emphasize, if you've watched the content on our channel, it's why we emphasize that business owners and creators should actively show up in their content and the value of leveraging other creators, user-generated content, and testimonials because people connect to people. So consider how you can show a creator or customer actively using and enjoying your product, like sipping your brand's wine or showing off your custom flower bouquets. Try to use shots where the person feels close to the camera, like I am right now, so that it feels really personal. And by the way, the data backs this up. Ads with real people perform better. So in your ads, see how you can incorporate real people and authentic moments to build trust and engagement. The second creative lever is integrate brand and product. So when you're selling a product or service, you'll want to integrate it into your ad in a way that feels natural, and you want to make sure it happens at the beginning and throughout your ad. We've seen too many ads where the product or service doesn't even show up until the end of the ad, so it isn't really clearly explained until later in the video or later in the carousel, which risks your target audience just scrolling by before they even really see what you're selling. So make sure your product or service is really part of the story you're telling with your ad, and tying back to the last point, try to incorporate human connection to really drive the message and the value. The third creative lever is visual dynamicism. In my opinion, this is where Reels really shine. So I mentioned in our ad mistakes video, which you can check out over here, that not using Reels was one of the biggest missed opportunities we see when reviewing people's ad strategies. And that's because if you've opened Instagram in the last 4 to 5 years, you've probably noticed Reels are very popular. People love Reels. So if you're not creating them, you're missing out on an opportunity to capture their attention. So how can you create Reels that stop people in their scroll? Now, there are some non-negotiable creative essentials your Reels should meet. First, make it 9:16 so it's optimized for vertical video. No squares, no horizontals. You want to take up the entire real estate of your target audience's phone. Next, create for audio on. With audio on, you can leverage music and sync it to the beat wherever it's possible. You can get copyright music from audio libraries like Epidemic Sound, which we've talked about often, or Meta Sound Collection, which is free. I'll link both below for you. And add voiceovers when relevant. Again, voiceovers are a great way for that human connection. So it's layering in these creative levers that we've been talking about. And because people may be watching on mute, make sure that your videos have captions and text so your target audience can understand exactly what's going on, even if they can't hear the audio. Next, stay in the safe zone. So I'll link guidance to this below for you as well. There's going to be a ton of resources in this description box so you can reference the dimensions, but avoid having any key elements like the text or the graphics you want your audience to see alongside the edges of your reels, so the top, bottom, and sides. This is to avoid them getting cut off by the reels user interface. And a fun fact, campaigns including I'm killing you with the data, okay? Campaigns including 9:16 video ads with audio within the safe zone resulted in, on average, a 34.5% lower cost per action than image ads on Reels and 15% lower cost per action than non-9:16 video ads without audio on Reels. So just incorporating these creative essentials that I mentioned can make a really positive impact on your performance. Now, in addition to the creative essentials, you'll want to level up your ads with creative best practices for that visual dynamicism. So this looks like using fast-paced cuts. So try to reset your target audience's attention within the first 3 seconds, then adding an immediate visual and text hook that answers what's in it for me. I say this all the time to every client always. Answer what's in it for me immediately. As soon as it lands in their feed, you want to answer that question. Using animation or motion graphics, especially to make key points really pop, and you don't have to be a pro designer to add this to your content. Canva is an amazing tool for this, and I've broken down how you can create awesome Instagram content with Canva in this video, so check it out if you feel intimidated at all when it comes to design. Use different camera angles and movements to create a dynamic feel, and think about how you can make your reels entertaining or digestible, so keep it value driven and clear, or relatable. Meta calls this the language of reels, and their data has shown that this creative approach improves conversion results. One thing that's really important to remember is that your reels should feel like they are part of the organic Instagram experience, not like an interruption. So you can keep it lo-fi, so organic feeling, and it doesn't have to be this massive production. And using the creative essentials that I've just mentioned and the creative best practices will help you get the results you are looking for. The fourth creative lever is distinctive atmosphere. So this really involves using music, sound effects, and visuals that reflect your brand to draw the viewer in and keep them watching. So you can do this by incorporating your brand's color palette into your content. And if you don't have a color palette or brand kit, check out this Canva tutorial to learn more about how to build a brand kit for a consistent Instagram profile and feed. I broke it all down for you in that video. Now, you can also incorporate sound effects and music that sets the mood and tone, and test out various lighting and camera techniques to make your ad more visually engaging. The goal is to immerse your audience in an environment that feels distinctively like your brand, so they just know when they see it. And if you're ever stuck when it comes to creative for ads, a great resource for inspiration is Meta Creative Center. And what I love about it is you can actually narrow down the creative you want to see by the industry. So I'll leave a link to it below for you as well. And if you're thinking, thanks Tiffany, where will I get all this content you're talking about? I don't know how to create it. Some approaches to consider are: don't overthink it. I say this all the time. A lot of the times you already have the tools to create, which are just your iPhone, Canva, and the creative best practices I just shared with you. You can also partner with creators to create content for you. As I mentioned earlier, people trust people, and creators are experts in storytelling. You can check out this video for more on how to make the most out of creator partnerships. You can also leverage UGC, so that's content that comes from your customers and clients. That's also something that we use often in our ads and in organic content. You could also hire a freelancer or agency if it's in your budget. You can leverage AI, and you can can leverage stock photos and videos. There are a ton of options available for you to access and create the visuals you need to run successful ads. This I promise you. Now, building amazing ad creative, as we've talked about, is really important, but a huge mistake we often see is that business owners will create just one ad in one format and build their entire ad campaign and spend their entire budget on that one ad creative. That is like putting all your money on black. It's a huge gamble, okay? This is why you need to diversify your ad creative, meaning you need to have different types of content available in different formats to put in front of your audience. And I'll speak to you about how you can easily do this in a second. But what's important to remember is that we all use Instagram and Facebook in different ways. Some of us scroll more on stories. I'm very much a stories person. Some scroll more on reels, some through the feed. And there's also different motivations we all have for wanting to engage with an ad or take advantage of an offer. So for example, someone may be looking for a really good deal and respond better to creative promoting a 20% discount, where another may respond better to an ad that appeals to like a specific problem that they have, and another may want to hear a story from a creator to convince them to buy or to learn more. That's why it's important to build creative that fits into different placements. Feed versus story, for example, and different formats, which would be like a reel versus a carousel, for example. And what you feature in your creative should speak to different shoppers that may have different motivations or reasons to purchase from you, or reasons to join your program, for example. That's why it's important to understand your buyer persona and consider where they are in their journey and how you can show up so they feel like, oh, that ad that is speaking to me. This way, you're giving yourself more opportunities to appeal to your target audience in different ways. Now, the data from Meta supports how important diversifying your ad creative is. So for advertisers running a brand campaign, ad sets that included at least one image or one video and one vertical video with audio reached 80% more people at a 13% lower cost per reach than ad sets that didn't include one or more of these creative assets. So it's not enough to just make one piece of content for your ad. You'll want to create multiple versions to test what works best for your audience. And if you use a tool like Advantage Plus shopping campaigns, you can just input all of these different creatives into a single campaign and let Meta's ad system work to find the right ad to show to the right person. Now, as I've been laying all of this out, if you've been thinking, how in the world will I create all of this diverse content that you're talking about, I've got two really great solutions for you. So one is Meta's Gen AI tools, which is already built directly into Ads Manager, specifically the Advantage Plus Creative Image Generation tool, which can generate multiple variations of your ad visuals with just a few clicks, which will help you to switch backgrounds, create fresh compositions, and keep your creative engaging without extra design work. This means you can test more visuals, reduce your ad fatigue, and improve performance automatically. Let me know if you'd like me to do a dedicated video on using the Gen AI tools. I'd be happy to add that to the series as well. Another great option is Canva's Magic Studio, where you can use their Magic Resize feature to easily adjust your content for different placements, and their Bulk Create tool to create tons and tons of content in batches, which I broke down in this video. I'm probably running out of cards, but everything will be linked below. Also, Canva in general just has a ton of templates for reels, stories, carousels, and images that you can easily just drag and drop your video and images into. These two tools alone will be a huge resource in helping you diversify your creative. Now, once you have all this incredible ad creative optimized with the creative essentials and best practices, you'll want to have impactful copy to go with it. So we found our highest performing copy to have a 3-part structure. So one, a strong hook that calls out your audience specifically to grab their attention. Like, for example, that would be, hey, Toronto, struggling to find time for fitness between work and family. So really calling out that audience being a Toronto human being. Then a clear value proposition or solution, which is why should I care or what's in it for me, like I mentioned earlier, to show that you solve a pain point. Example, our 30-minute express workouts are designed for busy schedules so you can stay strong without sacrificing your time. And then your call to action, of course, that's your CTA that drives action by making it clear what the person should do next. So for example, that would be join today and get your first week free, and then you would have a sign up or learn more CTA button. And just like that, your creative is diversified. You'll want to test variations of your copy too, which can be easily generated again with Meta's Gen AI tools right inside Ads Manager with their text generation feature. It's very impressive. You'll see up on the screen. It's super impressive. They'll generate text for your headline and captions that reflect your voice and tone so you can automate your variations. It really just could not be easier. So, for a quick recap, when it comes to creative best practices for high-performing ads, incorporate the 4 key creative levers we discussed. So, human connection, integrate your brand and product, visual dynamicism, and distinctive atmosphere. And always diversify your creative. Say it with me now. Diversify your creative. So, in an upcoming video as part of this Meta Ads training series, we'll be doing a full tutorial of creating a high-performing ad in Ads Manager from beginning to end. It's been a while since I filmed one, and it's probably one of the top videos you all have let us know is really helpful and really helping you create ads that work. So definitely subscribe if you could benefit from seeing that full process laid out from beginning to end, because that will be coming out soon. Thank you again to Meta for partnering with us on this video. I'm leaving resources again to everything I mentioned in the description box below, so check those out. And of course, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up to let me know, and check out the ads playlist here for more videos like this one. I will see you next time around. Bye.